Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Podcast. This is the back of the bus session.
Hello and welcome to the Old Farm Bus, back of the bus sessions. Today I've got a very, very cool guest. You stepped out of the car today and I was like, he's tall, he's cool. We don't know one another really, and I'm really looking forward to it because we've probably had an hour's chat already. And I'm like, mate, I like you. There's something I really like about you. The reason I got you on was I had a podcast with Charlie Kirby, who runs Man Street Studio, and we had a wicked chat, and he was just afterwards buzzing. He was like, oh, I think I might try and do a little podcast. And I'm like, do it, let's go. And he's like, oh, would you come on it and speak to Tom? And I was like, well, I've never heard of him, but I'm sure he's wicked. Yeah. So I went in and I was like, looking at you and are you okay here?
That's the bus that's
I'm getting on this bus. And I was watching you, listening to your music. You've got a clothing brand,
weirdo,
lots of stuff going on, and I was like, I think I will get on with this guy. He's spinning plates and I like it. So ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna love this guy, Tom Eisler, or TPJI.
Smashed it.
I done it. I knew 4 little letters together. Who thought it could confuse somebody so much? But woo, you're here, man. Big love, buddy. How are you coping in this wild, wacky time, dude?
I'm finding it all right. I'm very secluded anyway where I am. It's just me and my parents. I'm an only child, so it's just kind of me and mum and dad. There's not any houses, just like here, little farm, no one around.
So really. You're used to the countryside then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And even before.
You're feeling at home then now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was on lockdown when I was 13, kind of thing. Yeah. Like to get to town, it was like a 3-mile walk to the bus, a half an hour bus ride to town.
Oh,
like it was like it was that isolated anyway. So it's not that deep for me at the minute.
We can get on a good vibe over this, man. Did you feel quite isolated then?
A little bit. It was one of those kind of things that was like 17. I need to learn how to drive now. Like the day after my 17th birthday, I did the theory, and then within 6 weeks I'd passed. Like I was ready to go. You're not gonna see me.
Did you have like people your age around you though? Were you
no, that's the thing.
Literally,
that's the thing.
Nobody around you.
No. There was one farm near us, and their son was like 2 years older than me.
Okay.
And we got on a little bit, and then one day he locked me in a shed, right, all day. Like I was just like innocent little 7-year-old. They just locked me in a shed and then just like did one. And I was like, well, we're clearly not going to get on anymore for the rest of our lives. So then it was just me, the dogs, mum and dad. That's just how it was.
That's a really intense moment for
a
7-year-old.
It was so intense.
Why? Did he ever explain why?
No,
Have you seen him since?
I've never talked to him since. It's just always just
I love your defiance as a 7-year-old, because I would want to be loved though. I'd be like, oh, I will be your friend. And I had people do mad stuff to me as a kid. And we didn't live on this farm all my life. I had a little holding, my mum and dad lived about 10 minutes away, and we had a small farm, and then we came here. I'll tell you a little bit of the story of this farm, because I don't think I said it on the podcast, but it was this woman gone mad on this farm.
Right.
So she had 34 dogs.
Right.
She had, it was one house at the time. 2 twins lived in that shed. So there's a big shed out there, and they just lived in it.
Right. Dogs.
She had twin boys. Sorry.
Oh right, they lived in that.
And
shed.
They just lived in that shed.
Oh right. Okay.
They had like a caravan in it, but it was really scary, man. I remember coming up here and there was rats everywhere. But we had to come and do like a mission, because she let all these horses. Do you know like RSPCA films where it's got sad music on?
Yeah.
And then all the horses have got their hooves and they're like spun round one another and that. She'd let it get to that state. Right. And we got there and there was wasteland and rats were just running around. It was chaos. So my mum was a veterinary nurse at the time, did this massive mission, saved it. I think the woman could have got arrested or something for it all, but she'd let it just go to turds.
That was a good saying.
We came when I was about 12, but the place we were living at before, it was a bit more, I was still in the crowd there was people my age around, and just opposite us was an absolutely nutter of a lad. He was that lad like Nelson from Simpsons.
Yeah,
he was
really.
he was crazy. And I remember that Simpson episode, actually. Most of my anecdotes will come from a Simpsons episode.
Okay.
That one where he gets a gun and gets Bart to shoot the bird. Have you seen it?
No.
It's amazing. But he was that kid, and he'd always just like give me a pen
Yeah, just
and
a
go
crazy guy.
go right on that book, guy's caravan or something,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, bastards or something, and then I'd get in trouble. And I remember them days. It was hard work, so I tried to stick in as much as I could. And
Yeah.
I just got into PS1, I think.
Yeah,
Abe's
lifesaver.
Oddworld.
Mine was. I mean, I used to help out on this little farm. Like, I remember being. I mean, the shed happened when I was about 7.
Okay.
But I think just before leading up to that, I was used to load the pigs onto the lorries.
Oh, bless him.
And you'd have these like massive. Well, they felt massive at the time, like wooden boards. And like this big pig would come oinking up to you, like, and you have to like. The farmer was just like, yeah, just push it onto the trailer. And they're like, what do you mean? And it's terrifying.
They'll really grow you as for a kid at 6. For a farmer to just go, yeah, just whack it on the arse.
We used to. They used to be in these big warehouses, sheds that they keep them in.
Mm-hmm.
Just a string hanging down from one of the beams, and used to jump on the string, hold onto a pig, and just see how long you can go on for. And that was actually quite a good crack, to be fair. But then the whole shed thing happened, and it was
game over for them.
I think Pokemon was my PS1 in your eyes.
That's a great shout, actually. How old are you, man?
I'm 22.
22. So yeah,
How old are you?
27.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we can definitely converse on Pokemon now. I know,
Oh, mate.
I know my Pokemon days.
Mine are still going. Like, I have not let it. I panic bought a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Just to
Panic
play,
bought.
yeah, like properly. Like the last day Argos was open, I was like,
Everyone's
I'm going there.
Getting toilet roll
know, I
and doing
felt
that,
like an
and you're
idiot,
like, are you
but-
idiots? Like, people are giving good prices.
The only person in the Argos queue, just with my ticket.
Yeah.
That's mine. Thank you. But yeah, got the new Pokemon. Loved it. Like, but the thing is, it runs
Which
out.
colour? Do they do them in colours on that, or is it
Well,
just...
they ran out with the colours. It's
Yeah,
sword and shield
They
now.
didn't
but
have
then
many left though, did they? They were red, yellow, blue,
Ruby,
silver,
sapphire, yeah,
man,
they
they
ran out.
went in.
But I was there in the shop, just like looking up like which legendaries are in which one, like which is the best one to get. And I just love it. It's just pure escapism.
I
Like,
felt
so good.
very cheated by Pokemon when they did the red, the colour system, because they were the same, weren't they? Like red, yellow, blue, and all,
yeah.
and they were 50 quid at the time each. And it
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
in Toys R Us when my nan take me, they were like the golden tickets, and they'd be displayed up there.
I'm with you, yeah.
And you've got the 3, and it's like 50 quid, and my grandma's like, it's your birthday and you can have 3 presents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'll get the red, blue, and yellow. I get them all, and I'm just, I'm playing the same game.
Is that how you did it?
100%. I thought they were all different.
Yeah, well, I
thought
mean,
they
you
were
could
really
get different ones
exciting.
in different games, I think.
Man, honestly, I remember it was a similar challenge.
It was. It doesn't matter what colour even then was. It's the same game. It's the same game I played when I was 7 and when I'm 22. Exactly the same.
Yeah, I think the yellow one you had Pikachu, whatever happened though, so you had to play with Pikachu, and that was nice because you had a little companion
just
round
relaxing,
with you.
isn't it? It's just relaxing.
it's
This
so
time, right, you can set up camp wherever you are, and then all the Pokemon come out. You cook them up. You cook them up curry. I don't know why, right? And, like, you get the berries from the tree, cook them up a curry. You stir the pot. You have to like fan the flames on the fire to like get the fire going, cook it. It's honestly amazing.
So many life lessons in one game.
It's like
All you need-
Confucius. It's just teachings after teachings.
But you're a man with so many businesses.
Yeah.
How are you spinning this plate as well?
Well,
How are you getting that?
Well, the thing is-
you got to keep cooking the Pokemon curry, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't watch that much TV or
Okay.
anything like that. And I'm kind of like, try and get the most out of the day, try and get, like, spin all the plates you're just saying, and then, like, get a decent workout in if I can. And then yeah, there's probably, like, 2 hours of just nothing before bed. And that's, like, you can do whatever you want in my head.
active time,
Yeah.
productive time.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Pokemon was that for probably the first 2 weeks of lockdown. Just slap it on, get it done.
It is good. I have found quite a few escapisms actually now, and it's so helpful for me.
Yeah.
Because really, when I got back from travelling, I went to Australia for a year, like South Africa,
Wow.
and did loads of like travelling around.
Yeah.
Got home, but with a passion this time. So I had poetry. And then poetry sort of got me into filmmaking, and filmmaking got me into buying these buses. And I got business minded, and like yourself, man, I was fueling my mind constantly with motivational speakers and thinkers, and I love it. But the one side of myself that I missed was the escapism and the just sitting back enjoying life a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you can get carried away and just trying to get to the next level and the next level.
Yeah, I'm like that at the minute. Like I can't. I'm like, all right. So somebody else woke up at 4:30 and did that 10K run. So that means I've got to. Like, so someone else is doing it. I've got. Someone didn't have that.
David
that
Goggins
chocolate cookie,
attitude,
so I can't have that chocolate cookie. Whatever. And that is good, maybe 5 days of the week. But I mean, you do need that kind of release and that kind of.
And it does. It depends who you are. There are some just like super athlete, like intense characters.
And it's like I was just saying with The Last Dance and Michael Jordan. Like that's where I took a lot of. I already believed that, but that confirmed like where you can get when you do act like that.
Yeah.
But then he also talked about the costs and how like
that's it, man.
His reputation is actually very mean, and like he didn't do anything outside of basketball. But that's what when you get to that level of greatness, you have to devote everything to it.
I think I've had that against me and some friends in circles of like you're very ruthless though. You're very like on it, and like when they've not been. Because I tried to do a company with my mates before, like you do. You're in the pub. Everyone's like, let's go travelling. Nobody did, so I went. I was like, I'm not going to be that guy that says I'm going to do something and not.
I really relate to that, yeah.
And then it was the same again. It was like, let's do a business. So I get home, I'm putting on all the Instagram pages, doing all that. We're in it as a team. And then they're like, it's a bit tricky, innit, that?
Yeah.
And I'm heartbroken again.
Yeah.
So when you just take it for yourself and you put it all in for yourself, there's a lot of costs, like you say, but there's a lot of reward, isn't there?
Definitely.
You get that real feeling of like,
just hold your head up high and think that's mine.
and if it goes bollocks wrong, then it's you're the one that faces that. You don't take everyone down with you. So it's a good world to be in that way, an aspect, but I definitely need that fine tuning, that balance.
I was watching a Elon Musk talking.
Oh yeah,
and
the man.
Very good man. But he was saying how like there's poverty. I mean, there's all this badness in the world. There's obviously COVID at the minute, and whereas we need to solve those problems, and it's only part of life that it is involved in solving those problems. The other part is this escapism and having passions, because it is an equal part, and that is the balance.
Elon can't have any time for anything, man.
I know, but I think he's someone that's manifested and got that. His work is his passion, isn't it? Like, I mean, getting someone to space or public space travel like he wants to make, that is a crazy passion to have. It's just obviously very monetized as well. So
and that feels like where you're at, to be fair, because my passions are all business related now. I've managed, that was from school, just hating education, hated being told what to do all the time. I never got an honest conversation of somebody going like, what do you enjoy? Like, what can we get you to just engage in? They were just like, do this, like, listen up. I don't want to listen. I don't care what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even if honest conversations were said, like, if you do this, you can open doors to get to here, and this will help you here. That didn't happen. They were just shouting at me, so I went mad and got kicked out in the end.
Yeah.
But I do think if we could just inspire people to go, like, find your thing, find your passion, and run with it.
Yeah.
It is the greatest feeling. And then when you are doing them 13, 14, 15, 16-hour days, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
It is all for the greater good.
Yeah.
But a little bit of Pokemon now and then is so important. Because I listen to another guy who I love, David Goggins. He was on like a Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay.
Then I started getting into his world.
Yeah.
And he is just he does 100-mile runs just because he wants to. He'll go swimming like the channel and do there and back just so he can beat everybody else.
Yeah, I it's amazing.
And
I do.
In my life, when I've got into spiritualism because I've gone through mad depression, I look at the Buddha and I think I've got to be the Buddha. So I'm like, I've got to do that.
Yeah.
Then when I'm like, no, I want to be a business owner or runner, I've got to be David Goggins.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, these are your mentors. These are all people.
You've got to be you at the end of the day. It's not
you like their sides of them. I like David Goggins in this way, but I prefer the Buddha in that way. And it's like just taking them little implements and taking their little qualities where you're like, this is me now.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Have you found that in because you're so young to be doing what you're doing?
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I think maybe my school was a little bit different in the sense that maybe the same result in that I wanted to do what I wanted to do, but mine, it wasn't as much as listen up. It's that you've got this. We did the 11 plus to get to. Have you heard of King's?
No, man. No.
It's like a grammar school.
Okay.
And it was very much like you do the 11 plus. It's like test to get in, and then okay, so now you're okay. Suddenly you're the best in this area.
Yeah.
But we don't care about the best in this area. We want you to be in the best in this school. We want you to be the best set in the best classes. Then you need to be in the top 10. Then you need to go to the best university and go to the best company to be an investment banker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm always being compared to people that are destined to be better than me because someone's got to be the top dog in that environment. Yeah. And then as soon as you start to stand up and say, well, actually, I'm going to be an artist that's defined over my own successes because it's my own goals. So no one else can tell me that I'm better or worse than anyone because I'm the only one's opinion that I really care about right now. And that's why I'm always, that's got its pluses and minuses because that's what's making me run all this way or stay up writing a bit longer because I am like the judge and executioner. Like I'm so hard on myself if I don't think I've done enough that day. But in the same way, like no one else can turn around and say what you're doing is rubbish because it's my own lesson, my own school, my own like class. It's fine.
That's such a nice attitude to take with you and be the member of your own school. And that's I work in schools. I go to lots of different schools all over the country now, and feeling that level of competitiveness in schools, and there's some amazing schools and they're the ones I really enjoy working at because it's like, no, our classroom, everybody learns differently in here, everybody excels in a different rate and a different way. This person's great and creative and they see that. Or there are schools, and my school particularly was bad for that, it just was competing against the school down the road and it wanted the grades to be look a certain way. Exactly. So I was a figure in their life where they were like, oh, he's going to really mess it up for us. So he's going to make us look bad. So let's kick him off and get him gone. And I like the way education's turned now. And I do feel like where I'm going, it is more about like, who are you as a character? Who are you as a person?
Yeah, that's cool to hear, yeah.
And let's try and navigate you going in these directions. I do think it's changing. A guy who came on, did a podcast, he'd been in education for 25 years. His name's Martin Illingworth, and he's got a book out called Forget School, and it is just like looking at like Elon Musk style, where the world's changing, how young people like yourself have got to adapt and come into a new world. Like my grandma and granddad would get a job, 50 years, that's his job, then it's game over. Now it's all, we've got to be thinking Instagram, how can we sell ourselves, how can we sell our business, now what other parts do we need in, who can we work with, teamwork. It's constantly changing, technology, everything's like a new world, and we've just sort of come into that world.
No, you're bang on. I mean, I have the conversation regularly with my dad because he always forgets that we've had it. But after he's had a drink or whatever.
And does he have it with as much enthusiasm every time as well?
Yeah. So but it is an interesting conversation. And whereas it's also technology's changing, it's also kind of opportunity as well. So it's kind of like my granddad, he worked every day just to provide food for my dad and that family. That was it. And then dad's mentality is the same. He saw his dad do that. He's got to provide for his family. And whereas I appreciate that I've got to do that as well, living quite comfortably, I have this opportunity to, I don't need to guarantee myself a 9-to-5 job for maybe a year or so. I can open some more doors than that, and that gives more scope to be more creative and do all these different things. And because if you had to, and I had to work, I wouldn't have time. I do have a full-time job, but you wouldn't be able to put money into a studio or everything like that. I'd have to just move out. I need to pay bills and stuff like that. So it's a lot more scope to do more.
Completely. And I think in a time of like change as well, and how people think, it is also still, I've had to do loads of like shitty jobs that I really don't want. I worked in Thornton's packing chocolates. There's a funny story there about I left, but there's loads of jobs I did where I just couldn't get on with it. I just hated being told, looking around and just thinking, everyone's sort of just succumbed to this is it now. This is us. And we felt like little robots. And I couldn't stay for like over 2 weeks at places
it's horrible
like
to
that.
settle with, isn't it?
But I do think there was also a lot of my old mates, like footy mates that I used to play with, and like sort of the lads. The concepts are changing though. They're looking at other people, creatives like yourself, which you're somebody that I look up to. As soon as I see somebody young doing amazing things and starting up like businesses because it's their passion, I'm like, wicked. But there's so many of these things going on now and sites of young people doing that. People are like, this McDonald's job maybe isn't forever. I'm getting, it's settling me out. It's getting me here. But at the end of the day, I can climb a ladder, but I'm just giving out maybe nutrition that isn't of too much benefit to people, and they do the back step of thinking, and they're like, what do I want to do then? And these questions are actually being asked now, and these questions are being put forward. And I see some incredible, phenomenal changes of people. You think, how has he gone and done that journey? Like down here on the local estate, I've got loads of mates down there, and they're all starting up like even a vaping business or whatever they want to do. They're just like, yeah, I seen you do your thing, or I seen him do his thing, and I wanted to do mine. So I got enough money working at this company I didn't like, and now I'm doing it.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's a concept change, I think.
No, you're 100% right. Just seeing it, I see it as a means to an end. Like I sit like it's like 8 hours a day. My job. Sit there at the minute on the kitchen table, on the laptop, phones. Welcome to whatever. I'm here to help.
What is it that you're doing then? It's Vodafone.
Vodafone, yeah.
Wicked, okay.
And it is.
I didn't know they were still going. Are they still big?
Well, it's yeah. Well, the big pain in my ass, to be honest. Yeah, still going. Yeah, it's all right. What is amazing is just you see such a flatline demographic of the whole country, because everyone rings in. Everyone rings in with a problem. Everyone's got a problem with their broadband, and you just talk to so many different people with different walks of life. And that.
How do
they
treat you on there?
I mean. So it's quite.
Have you had somebody coming to smash your door in?
So I had this one guy. He's already. It is quite fun because when people are like angry at you, you can't be angry at them because it's all recorded.
Yeah.
But you can be patronising. That's all you can be.
They allow that? Is that in your contract?
No, not at all. No, 20% tone of patroning.
Okay.
But anyway, this guy rings in. He's from Ireland, and he's already rang in several times that day. And basically, what we needed to do was turn his phone off and turn it back on again. Like, you're only telling me to do that because you should at 9 o'clock, and you want to get rid of me. And I was like, I'm not. That's a great
Irish voice. I'm ready for it.
And I was like, no, Leo, I am going to ring you back. Like, don't worry. I'll ring. And I gave him a time. Like, it was 8:54. We were shooting at 9. I was like, I'll ring you back at 8:57. And he was like, no, you won't. I was like, just trust me. Just trust me. I was like, fine. And then he hangs up the phone. And then I ring him up, and I'm like, hi, is that Leo? This is Tom calling from Vodafone from the conversation 3 minutes ago. He's like, hi, Tom, you rang back, did you? And then he goes mental. And at the end of the day, I was like, there's not a lot we can do. We need to wait 24 hours. 24 hours, all day I've been told 24 hours. At the end, he goes, well, I hope you sleep well, Tom. Love to your family. If I was sat there, it'd be a very different conversation. And like he's there to threaten. I know. So it was bad.
Mate, they really don't see
the
person behind on the phone who's just there to do their best.
I know. I mean, there are lovely ones, but...
Do you see people with absolute, like, no passion in your call centre where you are like, come on, man, like, try and put something in.
Yeah,
give a bit out.
It's a really taxing job. It really does take its toll because you have that call and then write me notes and then bang, you got to go straight in again. Like, you got to brush that off. That can't affect me because you got to go... Some old lady somewhere else might need my help, and she doesn't want to hear that anger that I've now got for this Leo character. So,
renew. Has that
hard.
Taught you any things then? Any good communication skills?
It's taught me temperament, probably. But
I've you struggled with that before, or
no? I mean, a little bit. I mean, I still do, just not in like a big aggressive way. But
I'd love to see you back in the day. You want some?
I mean, that's what it's like. But there was this one guy, I can't even remember his name, but. He was the beautiful conversation to have at Vodafone is when we're below what we say we can give for them for their speeds.
Okay.
And we just say, like, there's nothing we can do. Like, it's the infrastructure. We can't actually change what speed you're getting. Anyway, this guy rattles me up, ends up calling me the C word on the phone.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve of all time, right?
Oh,
and I just had to go outside for a bit and just breathe because I was so vexed.
Just been called a C word.
Yeah,
on Christmas Eve. There's a song in that, brother. There's some great lyrics.
And then, but the best thing was, it's like February time, and I go in like, hi, talking to Tom from the technical team. How you doing today? And it was him. He'd come through to me again. I was like, hi, bro, how you doing? And he knew exactly what the crack was. Ended up arguing again. But it was to a point where like I needed to call him back because I promised that I would call him back before we started arguing. So I had to ring him back the next day. There's a lot of humility. You definitely learn a lot of humility in just saying, it is what it is. There is this struggle that we're all going through with this service, but you just have to kind of take it on the chin.
It is nice that you've got that side about you, because I suppose, they've got to think who they're talking to. But then again, what have they just been through?
Yeah,
the wife might be shouting at them, like, get it running. Like, I was doing an application. And but there's a lot of angry people out there, man. So many. It's not excusable.
I find it, like, funny that they've obviously got this problem, which is fine. But I'm the only thing. The way they talk to me and treat me is the only only variable in between getting the problem fixed or not. I could put you on hold and just go to the toilet if I wanted to. Like,
have you done that as well?
No.
You don't want to get fired, do you? We have terrible connection up on this farm.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad dropped the bollock like last year. We had maybe 2 years ago, but Virgin was gonna dig through the farm.
Right.
But they would have put like a line in or done something. Can we dig on your farm? And they were like, how much you paying us? And they were like, nothing. But they were like, yeah, bollocks to you then. Yeah. But I think it would have actually given us a good signal. And it does really help. In fact, I'm playing FIFA recently. I've just got into the new FIFA. And I'm playing against all my mates and it just keeps dropping out.
It's a nightmare. They're the most angry calls.
Yeah.
Like when people are like mid-game.
I was 8-0 up.
Yeah, and then they go mental. I'm sorry, bro, but you'll get there again. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So you just got...
Well, it's interesting, though, because that in itself is an interesting conversation that FIFA or games online are actually becoming jobs. So people are making money out of this.
That whole thing, like Fortnite, unbelievable. Like,
it's real. So, again... Yeah, they could be maybe losing money, or they could be working up a rank or something like that. So I'm like, how is this turning like that?
Yeah,
I'm on that. What is it called? FUT.
Fiber to.
FUT on FIFA.
Right. That's all broadband terms.
It's called FUT, and I can't remember, but I got in it because my mates were in it. I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I'm not going to get on this. Like, I've started building a team, start with a rubbish one, and then suddenly I open a pack, and I'm like, oh, that's a good player in there. He's cool. Yeah. And I'm like, get another one.
Do you know where that opening the pack buzz comes from? Pokemon. That's where that
it is, isn't it? It really is.
Did I get a shiny Charizard? Because they are worth money.
I used to go like to the like in London and swap cards and do things like that. It was so exciting. So we were experiencing it all again.
Yeah, that's what that buzz is.
On that FIFA game, I built a team up. I built this really good team, and I got my formation right. And for the last like 4 days, it just says like can't connect or whatever. So I rang around all my mates like, do you get this problem? Like, never. Yeah. And it breaks my heart a bit, man.
Yeah. No, it's bad. So my signal, we're not actually with like a standard provider. It's like something called like Village Link or something really weird like that. But we've lived in our house now for like 15 years. But the guy that used to live there, he just literally drilled from like the end of the lane a copper wire to hit the house just to download porn and sell it in the local pubs.
At least he knew what he wanted.
Yeah, and when he left and we bought the house, he just left like stacks of just porn in the living room. And Dad was like, "What the hell do we do with this?" So we just had to just sell it in the pubs. It was so bad.
I bet you made quite a bit in your area if there's nothing else to do. But I bet everyone was
too busy locked in the shed. Don't know what's going on.
So then, how old were you when you opened up a business and you started being business minded and thinking, oh, this could be a thing?
Yeah, but it was all kind of a path that I just fell into really, because like, I've always loved clothes, loved clothes, and then even when I went to University of Leeds and did business analytics, which is obviously very business centered, lots of data, lots of like just technical stuff. It's really.
Is this how your mind works? Is it quite mathematical?
In some aspects, yeah. And I do think about like the bottom line, what the actual potential is, and all these things, like forecast in my head, like what's the actual.
I could do with some of this in my life, man.
Well, I'm there.
Yeah, thank God we've met. Lovely chap, and he knows things.
And doing that, then met all my friends as you do at uni, and then it's really cool. So the guy that I do it with, was having a year out in Costa Rica, and he's fluent French and Spanish. He's a very cool guy. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is a really cool phone call. Actually, I haven't spoken English in 6 months." I'm like, "Wow, that's just you blowing me away." That's so cool.
That is pretty damn cool. Everyone needs one mate like that where you hate him but you love him as well. You're just like,
I love him with all my heart.
What are you up to? Oh, I'm just in Rio de Janeiro.
Just chilling
in the festival,
absolutely chilling. But yeah, he's a really cool guy. Like you said, let's start his brand. I was like, yeah, let's go for it. And what's really cool is he knows a bit more. Happily admit, he knows a bit more about fashion than me. That's great. He knows a bit of Photoshop as well. So
very fashionable, man. When you stepped out on the farm, I thought, oh, well, I've got my work cut out for me today because I'm very new to fashion sense.
Well, no, it's just how it is, man. I just
I like my vintage stuff. I'm really
you should
into
look
my
on the site, man. There's loads.
Yeah, I'm
loads
gonna
of nice
be
vintage
really
stuff.
investing in this,
Yeah.
but when you do get in the business side of things and your missus is with you,
Yeah.
and you start coming back with daft clothes like this,
Not
and
daft, man.
she's
It's
like,
cold in night
"How
time, we
much
need
was
this
that?"
stuff.
Like, oh yeah, but I do like it. There's so much pleasure in clothing.
Oh yeah, so
There
much.
is
So
really,
much.
like-
It's a feeling like putting on. It doesn't have to be like the most designer thing in the world.
Mm.
That's what hyper designer stuff. I kind of stay away from that one because I don't have the money. Like it's
Yeah.
silly money, but I find I don't mind spending a lot of money on. Well, not when I say a lot of money, like maybe £150 on a jacket or something like that. I don't mind that if it's like a design, not just a black jacket with the little logo on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Because
Yeah,
that's just
yeah.
that's literally just like a status symbol that
Yeah,
only people that know it will care about. So it's not even. So I only spend money when it's like a crazy design that design is made that I think is really cool.
I think you'd like my wardrobe, man. You would. Actually, I think we're going to get on this too. Because Ripley's interesting. Just flip this baby back on.
Well,
Here he is. So, Ripley, again, it's not got a great name for itself.
Right.
It's had its upsets, and I've told that on the podcast. But we have got this small little town, and it's quite, everyone knows each other.
yeah.
And all we have in the proper town centre is charity shops and takeaways. That's
Yeah.
all we're known for. But I love my charity shopping. I go out with my nan for the day,
Mm.
and we look around, like we go and have a coffee, and then we're there for about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
But the charity shops in Ripley just seem to have the weirdest, funkiest,
Mm.
retro style clothes. So I'm going around and like 50p for like something I'm going to
crazy.
wear for
It's
the
crazy.
rest of my life. It's some really
So
cool bargains
the
there.
kind of starting seed for Weirdo was this guy in Hull who's honestly a crazy bloke. And he does like mass vintage. So he literally does. He spent £300,000 on vintage clothes that comes in at 30 tons each month, and it comes in big bales, right, from North America and like northern Italy kind of stuff.
Wow.
And it's really cool. So like the Northern American stuff is cool. Like it's a lot of Lacoste, a lot of like your university hoodies, you know, when it says like Massachusetts. Or whatever
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is nice.
I like that stuff.
Yeah. But then like the hidden gems in there are from Italy, like the vintage Stone Islands and some really, really cool things. But anyway, he gets these big bales in, and me and James went over there in Hull. It's a big warehouse, and he just since he's on such a big scale, he doesn't. The beauty is he doesn't look at the brands really. He just goes, those are t-shirts, those are trousers. He's got literally like 12-foot stacks of Levi's just there and all this kind of stuff.
Wow.
And he just says he doesn't want like people just going around spending a little bit of money because it's just a bit of a waste of time for him.
Yeah.
So like when we started the business, you have to like go and spend £1,000 there basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And me and James spent the whole day there picking out hand picking all this
Wow.
stuff. And like since you're digging in these boxes, you're finding like the Stone Island stuff in the same next to like some tiny. Like,
So
some
he's
other
not
thing.
been through it. He's just got all this stuff.
Yeah.
He's thrown it all out at you. He says, "Well, come on, man. You got to spend a good chunk, but get
Yeah.
what you want."
It's economies of scale because like he's spent, as I say, a lot of money on these big, literally bales of stuff,
Wow.
clothes, and they go
Literally
through
bales,
yeah.
like bales out there, sort of bales.
Yeah, like but you know when like haylage is like
Yeah,
wrapped in
that-
that,
yeah,
that's
we've got
vinyl.
Yeah.
It's that, and they cut
Oh
it
my
open.
life.
They cut it open, and then they spend literally the workers
And then
are
your
there.
favourite top's like ripped in two.
They cut it open carefully.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they spend. That's the thing though. Like me and James are going around all these boxes, but then they're still unpacking things.
Mate,
like,
this
so
is
you're like,
honestly, people come on this show and like I get like bristles in my hair, like all stand up because this is exciting. I like to hear
it's so
that
cool.
backstory.
But the guy is so cool. So this guy was in London and he was homeless, like heroin addict, the whole shebang. Started to steal from like the higher market shops like Chanel and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But he was realizing when he was trying to sell them on that he was stealing the wrong sizes. They were too big apparently.
Right.
The people that
Okay.
he was trying to sell them to. So then he became a seamstress on the streets, learning how to adjust clothing, started to sell them, got more and more into clothes, got off the drugs. Next thing, he's like he's like the second biggest seller of vintage in the country.
Where did you find this story? Who's this guy?
That's the thing when James and I come together with the thing, like he can find all these people and I can like sort out all the rest of it. And so James found him. He's absolutely class.
Millionaire
Absolutely class.
now, just
I
doing
don't
what
know.
he done,
He's a
but-
funny bloke.
Yeah.
He's just got this really nice Geordie accent, and he's just like, yeah, I'll go get you a sandwich, mate. Don't worry, like we'll just go over there.
Hang
Never
on,
met
you
him
did a
before.
good Irish accent. Why didn't I hear a Geordie
I
then?
can't. I've got to select through.
Okay.
Select few. South Africa's all right. I've been to South Africa.
Okay.
I enjoy that. I used to work with a South African at Vodafone as well, and he was pretty funny.
Mine's always like with South Africa. I imitate the guy that I used to live around, and it's really thick. So he's like Mikey, and
yeah, South Africa really thick, like short
consonant
vowels.
but he was like he was like a very wisdomful fella. Like he knew a lot, so he's very like slow with his talk. He'd be like, Mikey, you talk like this.
That's almost it's quite a scary voice.
I used to go to the pub because I lived on this sanctuary, so we're looking after monkeys.
That's crazy.
And we're in like Pretoria, about probably 60 miles away from the main bit, so it's still we're just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But then we live on this sanctuary with lots of people from all over the world, and there was about 20 of us. And then there was one local pub where all the scary people go, you know, the hillbillies of South Africa or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you've got his little place that's got a pool, the football on TV, like English football and that. And me and the lads used to just go there, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I'd just sit there and just listen to him all day. It's so cool.
They're very like whimsical voices, aren't they? They can just like storyteller voice, like you can just listen to them all
That's
day.
it.
Kind of stuff. It's very good.
Got like musicality behind it as well. It's
good,
like
that's a good way to put it,
So carry on with the journey of the clothing brand. And what's it called again? Weirdo. I think me and Chrissy are going to be all over this.
Hopefully,
honestly, this is great.
It's really good. So we've got this vintage stuff. Big collection of that as well. As I say, spent like around $1,000 on it.
Amazing. So how much would you say you've got with $1,000?
Well, that's the thing. So if you basically roughly priced it up on Depop, just typed in roughly what would the kind of Stone Island vintage shorts, how much they're going for, typed it. So it's around 2.5 that the stuff's on there for. In total, which is decent.
When you were there, how long did it take? All day?
Literally, we got there at 9.
I was going to say, because then you're literally picking a Stone Island out, and then you're looking down Depop at this Stone Island.
But
going,
So as soon as when you're picking out, you're thinking first quality, whatever it is, or like brand, because in this game is however much a piece is. The money is in some of the certain brands like Chisardi, Versace, and Stone Island, all that kind of stuff. And so you do look for that, for the quality, and then you look for the style. But what's so hard is, what is good about me and James, we've got different styles.
Yeah.
So he's picking out stuff that's more kind of a London trend, and I'm kind of picking stuff that I've seen more around here, really.
Rave nights out.
Which is really cool. But then you also got to think about my other friends from Birmingham or whatever when you think about how they dress, because then you're trying to basically buy for the taste of the majority of the market, which is hard but fun. So we started off with that. Then we made our own clothes, and then that was like drop one, and that was really cool. That was in like November, good times. Then we took part in that fashion show that I was talking about before.
Yeah, sure.
Which was really good fun.
Talk about that actually as well. That was wicked.
It was really good fun. So, one of my best mates, Max, who's in Leeds, that's where I went to uni in Leeds. He was a stylist it's called the Leeds Rag Fashion Show, and it's a charity do.
I've never been to a fashion show.
I've
The only image I've got in my head is white chicks.
Yeah.
So all I can think of is it like that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I'd never been to an island, neither had James, and we're just two idiots, two like uncles, just in the back, just proud, just like giggling. But basically, we made some clothes for this fashion show. We didn't actually design them, but we got some like renewal. Basically, it was all about recycling. So we got some like we found like a matching denim set, and then we like bleached like lines in it, like horizontal thick lines. It looked really cool. I was experimenting for ages with loads of natural tie-dye. So like for all of October, I was like mushing up blueberries and beetroots and all this kind of thing, boiling t-shirts and making these things. It turned out pretty cool.
Science experiment.
Yeah, and it was just good fun. Like they ended up, because you had to put vinegar in them to make them set.
Okay.
So luckily no one could smell the models because they all stank of vinegar and chips. It was good.
It's always a byproduct when people look good. It's like me when I used to have loads of gel in the hair, hair in the gel. But I used to go for it, and now I've got no hair left.
Is that really what gets rid of the gel?
No, I don't think. I think I've got bad genetics, really. It was a funny joke at the time.
But yeah, I mean, it was really cool. Again, small part in it, but like they raised like 28 grand for these like sustainability charities and stuff like that. So really good to be part of that.
How many went to this event then?
It was over 2 nights, and I mean, roughly a guess, probably like 80 guests, like 40 on each side, like 4 rows of chairs on each side. But really
Have they
good.
been to like fashion shows before?
Well, it was some of them like parents of the models.
Yeah, sure.
Some other like creators and stuff.
I bet they were loving it. I
was
bet it
just
was
so good.
hilarious.
But me and James were the only ones that went on both nights, and both nights we were just pissed, just
Oh,
clapping
wow.
and just loving it. I just get so proud of everyone. Like, I'm just so proud of my mate, like designing it and styling it, and then one of my mates was DJing it as well.
Well, that's what you were saying in the kitchen earlier. You're just like everybody involved. You knew they were all part of it. It felt like a proper community, and I love that feel. I've been to some gigs in Nottingham, and again, I can walk around, and the event organizer you're mates with, you see the people on the stage, you know them all, and everybody in the crowd, you know them all. It's like, oh, this is proper connection. Like, you go to big festivals or a big gig, and it's lovely. There's a different atmosphere, different feel. But doing it with like people you're really vibing with, it's something else.
And what you were saying earlier as well about in the kitchen about like you've got to be pushing for the next thing and stuff. That was like especially when they played my music as well. That was like the only time I've been in the moment, like 100%. Like, I'm not thinking about anything else really. This is like all this effort has come to this, and it's really cool. And like all my friends are like smashing it as well. And like I was 100% in that moment. Like nothing else mattered. And it was just really nice.
I'll tell you what. When you touched on your music there, that's really fascinating. And I think we could get into, like, I can't believe you've never been on a stage and performed. That's my biggest bombshell drop of today. Was you saying no, I never performed because. Doing my research for these podcasts and like want to know the guests, and most people who have been on I've known. There's only 2 that haven't, and you and a girl from yesterday. And that went really well as well. So I feel like I'm making loads of friends doing this. I'm like, this is lovely. This is all for me. This. But there was I put you on Spotify, and you got 2 songs on there.
Yeah.
What are they called?
One's Unrequited Love, and the other's Another Life.
There's a story there. One Way Love. We've all been there.
Massive story there.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Your music, for people who haven't heard it, it's TPJI on Spotify. I like what you did there. But really, really go and listen to this because it's massive. Like the sound, the production, your voice, everything is power.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It could be on Radio 1 happily, and every shop you walk in, you could just be like, oh, there's that guy, and it just sounds perfect. It's really good.
I appreciate that.
When you came today, I expected you to say, oh yeah, I've supported these guys and these guys, and I really thought you like quite a name in the game.
Yeah.
So hearing that you'd never performed before, it just shocked me, and I was like, blimey, man. So tell me that story, and tell me like, are you wanting to go on that path?
I mean, definitely. I mean, it's interesting because as I say, like, by finishing uni, there is this big gap. Like, what do I do now? And it wasn't very much like I had Weirdo, I had the label. That was really cool.
That's amazing. Good start. Somewhere.
But I mean, got to put money into it. So I was like, okay, get a part-time job. It's evolved into this full-time Vodafone job. That's fine. Because as we've said, it's means to an end.
Yeah.
Then more plates. Want to push more. I really enjoy the singing. So let's see what we can do there.
As a kid, were you enjoying that?
Yeah, I mean, So like, obviously, when I was saying, like, when I was 13, go to school for the first time, big school, come back. Oh, I enjoyed the piano today, Dad. The next thing, like, Dad's bought like a baby grand, like on the second hand on eBay. I think it was like 750 quid.
Perfect.
It's from 1916. It was made in New York, and it somehow ended up here.
Have you got quite a good relationship with your dad? Is he a dad lad?
He's a good lad. My dad works really hard, and I respect his grind. Like when he talks of like how he was in my position before, at my age, he was kind of having to put his thumb up, hitchhike to work, and like work his ass off, get higher and higher, and like now he's smashed it. Like, he's hard.
Done really well for himself.
Yeah, and I really respect it.
That's it. Like, I love them stories coming through. I love people. I've been in a position where people look at me and like, oh, you were just a rich kid at school or whatever, and we're like, you genuinely don't know what it takes to live on a farm for starters. Like, we have no money ever.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad have literally just had to work at 7 a.m. till 10 at night every day for 7 days a week, all the time. They never switch off. I didn't go and kick around with my dad when we got this place anymore. Like, loads of byproducts come along, so I quite isolate. Lots of sob story.
Yeah,
like,
I really hear that. I do hear that. But I mean, I respect it. And that was what I'm trying to say earlier. Like his grind has painted these doors for me to open. And
that's my respect for them as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, no, I love what they've gone and done and ground it out.
Yeah.
But you look, because people think you've had an easy ride, and they're all like, oh yeah, you were the rich kid. It's like, no, I've seen people graft like their arses off. So it give me that respect and like what I wanted. So feel that in you a little bit.
And I see that as well. Like I think that's why I'm trying to do so much, because I know that so much can be done.
Yeah, that's it.
I've seen it, so like I've got to do it. Like, I do feel a bit of a weight on my shoulder, but that's again how I see it when I say I'm in my own class or in that thing I was saying earlier. Is that there's just so much that I want to do, and I'm the judge and executioner. Like,
I love that. That's going to be my takeaway for today as well. You're the judge and executioner. Yeah, man. So then he got you this piano.
Yeah. Started like dinking around on there. Really good fun. And then my uncle used to come around, well, he still does. And as I was saying, he plays like the working men's clubs, doing like Beatles covers, different things. He's just a proper old boy, just like he's from Birmingham. My mum's side's from Birmingham. He's just got the sharpest, also the dullest humour, like the cheapest puns, which I've just took on board so much.
Maybe he's got to come on the bus next. That sounds great.
Absolutely love it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he'd just mock me.
He's a good lad. He used to go. I had a girlfriend at the time. Who like, you got any nudes of her? I was like, no. Do you want to see some? I was like, yeah, fair. Yeah, mate.
It's great.
It's a good crack.
That's a great laugh. Good joke. Another one. Great.
But anyway, that got me into it, and then me and him used to jam a little bit on the piano and guitar. I used to really like the run of Michelle, like Michelle, my belle.
Okay.
Beatles number.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
And that's in French as well, and I really dabble in French.
Is he one of them guys that could just pick up the piano?
Guitar,
if you pick it up the piano, he's back there.
Big boy, yeah.
Pick up the guitar and play you anything, like just listening and go for it.
I can't remember what the actual name of it is, but he's literally just hear it and play it. Like he's really, really good.
It's always a name for something, isn't there? I dabble around and I try and say things, and then somebody's like, "You mean this?" And I'm like, "For God's sake."
Yeah, well, you knew what I meant. Do you know what I mean? Like Carolyn's dictionary corner, like just chill out.
My new word today was affluenza.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
I'm gonna pretend that I know I don't.
It was a good one. It was one that I might. It was about what it's a diagnosis.
I think I know what you're on about.
Yeah.
Is this from a Joe Rogan podcast?
Yeah.
I watched that last night.
Did you?
Yeah. About
mate,
suicidal kids in.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a diagnosis they get when they have had a lot given to them.
Yeah.
So then they end up
struggle
like,
for purpose kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Struggle for purpose. Thank you, man. So we pick up the same things,
dude.
dude.
Wavelength.
I don't just a little bit of knowledge for the people there. And I was like, he was telling a lovely story there. I was like, I've got a new word.
But yeah, that's mad. I literally watched that last night.
I'm really into the Rogans. They're really good.
Yeah, I mean, he just signed that big deal with Spotify.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure where that's going. I'm a bit like...
I don't know.
Thinking... Could be a good thing. I've got Spotify anyway.
Yeah.
But they've never done video before, have they, Spotify? So it was a good way to get people on their platform.
Yeah.
And watching the videos. But yeah, the monetizing of it and stuff.
I watched somebody break down some figures for him, if it was going to be worth it. Like if he if he did podcasts for another, I didn't watch the full video, it got a bit long, but it was like 100 million is obviously a lot of money, but like compared to how many views and ads on YouTube and etc. But I mean, he's in the UFC as well.
He smashed it. Like there's only so much money you need, isn't there? The latest figures of who runs Amazon? The Jeff Bezos, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love South Park as well, but
he's going to be the first trillionaire. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, that's it. And when you hear that, it's just like, man, there's no way. I bet there's somebody mathematically worked out like if he spent £100,000 a day or something for the rest of his life, he's going to be all right.
Like a £10,000 to him is like a tenner to us.
Oh,
in that
man,
relativity.
it scares me.
Yeah. But I watch. Have you seen the Ricky Gervais podcast with?
Love that. That's one of my favourite
honestly,
podcasts.
I use it to go to sleep. Like it's so good. And they talk about like the beauty is in the struggle. Really, it is in the grind because if it's just given to you on a plate, it's not worth it.
That's it. Yeah.
So
even when I started performing and getting into poetry, I got into it and I just looked. It was the most cathartic feeling I've ever had. I went to South Africa. I got a phone call from my dad one day, and long story short, just because I've told it a few times, it was a friend that had been stabbed.
Right.
And it, like, lots of things he was saying is bad back home, but that was one thing that hit me.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. So again, all my life I was told dyslexic, stupid,
Right.
X, Y, and Z, don't write, and I never did until like 21, 22. So I got into it late as well, music.
Yeah.
I'm quite naive to a lot of things when I go to studios. Like,
Yeah.
you felt this, like, saying the wrong words. I don't know what I'm on about a lot of the time, but it's fine. Like, that's a good thing to accept. So I went into writing, and I just, like, picked up this skill and this passion and came back home with it. So towards the grind, I remember that was the beautiful thing to me. I just loved it. I really enjoyed writing and what am I going to write about and where am I going to go. And then it was all later on for the product. So when I created a poem, I'd make it a film, I'd put it out there.
Yeah.
But when I started getting views, I liked that feeling for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the views was the thing that I was looking for.
Yeah, the satisfaction in it,
I lost that side of myself for a bit. I was like, oh, now I'm only looking at these numbers.
Yep.
I don't care about the process. I'm just trying to get to the end goal. And I lost the love for it for a bit. I was like, oh, I don't feel as fulfilled by it. But as soon as I had a bit of time, I span other plates. I went and did my thing elsewhere. I got back into poetry again just for, like, I had more to say. I lived life again.
Yeah.
Started doing things. I just loved the process. And I was like, oh, you idiot. It was all about the process and the grind and the doing. It wasn't the end goal so much. I get stuff out now. I put it out. I'm, like, proud of it. I can go back to it in a few months' time, but that's it now, and do my grind again.
I literally agree with it, and all of that, man. Like,
we're gonna be friends.
Man. Like the Spotify for Artists app. Have you got that? And like
yes,
track.
Man, yeah.
I mean, when I first put Unrequited Love out, like I saw like 10 people listening to it right now. That's so cool. And then. But now my mum's obsessed with it. Like the other day, she told me, "Oh, Unrequited Love's gone up a bit." I was like, "Has it?" I've lost interest in it. The other day, I was in the car and my song came on shuffle. I was like, "Oh, this is sick." I haven't actually listened to this in ages because I do kind of almost see it as almost buried. That's done now. Cause I wiped the slates clean. Dwayne Johnson is another guy that I look up to as well.
Yeah.
And he says that he's waking up at 4:30 every day and doing that because he pretends in his head. In the same way Michael Jordan would just make up scenarios in his head to make him more aggressive or make him perform better. Dwayne Johnson, he says that his back's always against the wall. Like he imagines that he's literally got nothing again. There's a day, his productions company is called $7 Production because one day he only had $7 in his pocket, made the man he is now, whatever. And he just imagines that day that he's got to provide for his family. He's only got $7. And he's got to grind. I take so much from that. Like I literally do make up situations in my head. Like if I don't do this, this is going to happen. Or like I've got nothing today, so make something. That kind of thing.
I played rugby as a kid.
Yeah.
I was a really fat kid. I was a nan kid, so she used to feed me Marmite sandwiches, and I'd be playing them games we talk about. But they got me into rugby. It was the doctor, and hilariously, his name was Mr. Rugby. I swear on my life, man, that's not made up. Yeah. And he just said to Mum and Dad, "You got to get your son into some sport, or he's going to end up really ill."
Fair.
So I got a prop forward and all that.
Nice.
But the team and the manager was such a man of wisdom again. There was 3 of them, but this one in particular. And we had a great team. We played for Derby Rugby Club, and they always won. But
not when they played Newark, though.
Oh, they did.
I think
I might have got my first try against Newark.
Not in my year.
But maybe I'm a bit older, aren't I? Honestly, our year was like, we just smashed it. We were really good. I don't know how they've gone down or anything. But
like NLD and all that. Like I think we won NLD.
Yeah, I played for Derbyshire. I got in the NLD sides and did really well with it. But that manager was always like, even when we'd score and we're like 30-0 up against probably Newark, because they weren't very good in my year as well.
That was before we turned up.
They weren't so good there, because that's all you've got, isn't it? I drive to Newark and then it's the rugby club.
Yeah, it's a really nice, nice club as well.
Beautiful. And he'd always shout like 0-0 lads, it's still 0-0.
Yeah,
and I remembered that. Just like even if you're 15-0 up or you're 50-0 down, just pick up the ball, go back to the spot, kick it, and run again and play the same way. And it was like, that's a beautiful thing to hear at 10 years old and onwards.
Yeah, definitely.
Good idea. Just no matter what life's presented you, go back to the start and renew yourself.
I think it's important to do as well.
I don't know if I picked that up definitely from him, but maybe it was a subtlety.
It seems like that grows, man.
A seed's been planted.
Like that,
0-0. I've never forgot that.
moment from rugby that I've never forgotten is, I mean, I was a fat kid too. Like
Oh,
I was that kid that
something's going on here, man.
Stars are aligned. I told you, I messaged you. Tomorrow's gonna
Charlie
be a big
Kirby,
day.
thank you for this, dude.
Charlie Kirby, see you later.
Yeah.
I don't know who that bloke is anymore, mate. But
I'm gonna just cut that bit out and send it in.
but yeah, like there was one time where I was playing Lincoln, and
They were dirty.
yeah, there was a tackle that I needed to make and I didn't make it. It was like I was a chubby second row, and there was a fullback coming at me. He stepped me and he laughed at me when he stepped me, and the moment stayed in my head so much. And then like even that, I was like 14 when that happened. That's the same with me, 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm there like doing an extra set because I remember this guy like said this to me, and I'm like, I'm not having that. Like, that's just not okay.
When you're selling your clothing and everything
Yeah,
like that, you're like, that guy
have
laughed
that.
at me. Get more clothes.
It's that kind of weird stuff that like again going on about Michael, but like there was like a famous incident where he literally made up that somebody else laughed at him at the end of one of the series,
Okay.
and then he came back the next game, smashed it. And at the end of the game, he said, "Did you really say that?" No, just made up. Told the whole world, the press, that this guy like said, "Haha, Michael, that was an awful performance by you."
So he built up this story in his
Yeah.
head, so he had to live that out. He's like, I've built a character that I need to be better than,
Yeah.
and that's it. I'm gonna beat that fake character that I've created.
I think it's so
that's
cool.
some mad shit.
It is
right
mad,
there,
but I
man.
just think it's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
to put that, because I think in his world, like no one was better than him. So the only way he could get better was make up things that were like better.
Wow.
Than him, which is a crazy place to be, but.
I'm gonna watch that documentary. What's it called again?
Last Dance.
Last Dance.
And it's really good. Last Dance.
Last Dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all recommended on Netflix pretty much straight away. But it's like, you think it's like long, like it's 10 episodes, like it's a long thing. But then you get three episodes in, you think this is actually so cool. Like, you're so invested in it, and the way they tell it as well. So there's like 3 main players, and then they introduce them, then the coach, how good he was. But then it all comes back down each episode to Michael and and then when like obviously the Jordans, like Air Jordan, all their shoes came into it. That's like a episode, and it's just so good.
Does he come out as a good bloke as well from it? Or
Yeah,
like
but what's really good, and I think so important when like you have like these idols like Conor, like I idolize like Conor McGregor, like Dwayne Johnson, and Michael. It's important that you see the negatives and see how like a lot of people thought Michael Jordan was like mean and nasty, and but it's because he needed to be. Yeah, and it's important to kind of realize that there are flaws in these people.
Human.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you humanize them, you're like, oh,
It's achievable.
It's achievable.
I think it might. Anyway.
Doesn't make me like think, right, I'm gonna turn nasty to everyone now, but it does make me think like them moments where people have misread it or labelled it as that, and I just think I'm trying to achieve, and they can jump on the train if they're ready for it, and if not, see you in a minute, but like I've got to do this thing for me. That's okay. Whereas I beat myself up for it before. I'm like, maybe I need to be calming down, and I need to go their pace and everything. It's like,
definitely not.
Well, did Michael Jordan do that?
No,
did Dwayne Johnson do that? No, they just did their thing.
Yeah, I think that's what I've learned most. Because coming back from uni, I was in this whole world. Like I loved Leeds so much. Like I knew everyone. Like I was like, it was like my local pub, like the Royal Park. I mean, you won't know it, but it's like on my album, my first song, Unrequited Love. I took a picture of the Royal.
Okay.
And photoshopped myself sat on top of it.
Oh.
Like Drake.
Yeah, it's good. So you did your own artwork for yours.
Yeah, well, with my mate called Max.
I love them. I think they're really good photos. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, love the place. But then to come back to a place very much similar to this, back into isolation. Yeah. And it's just you and yourself. You do have to kind of like make value for yourself again and get driven like that. And learning those things from those people like Michael Jordan, all that's what's got me going again.
Really, like you're constantly filling your head with these mentors, and
yeah.
Is that you say how you go to sleep? What are you watching podcast wise?
That was the Ricky Gervais.
Oh yeah, you're not
that's a bit of
much
entertainment.
I tell you what though, that is like sometimes there's just some pearls of wisdom in there where you're like,
and that's
Carl Pilkington's a genius.
Yeah, no, he's really genius.
Do you think he's an actor?
No, not at all.
He's just
I think all those things confirm yourself into, and that's what I'm trying to say with being at home. Never apologize for being who you are and what yourself is, and that's what I've realized so much more being away from all my friends, who I actually am. Yeah, man. I'm not a reflection of them. I'm just me.
What sort of sides of yourself were you when you were in Leeds, say, and you were surrounded by lots of other people then? I was living in a city. I've never done it, really. I did travel, and when I was in Australia, I was living in lots of cities, but never stuck to a place. Yeah. But when you get your city cliques and your city heads that you go around. I'm just presuming because this is
Yeah.
me, but you do build a character up out of that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you are right. And I mean, it's very like self-centered, all this kind of story. But I do find my journey in uni was just crazy. Like, went into a second-year house, 8 people in it, 4 girls, 4 boys. That was just carnage. Ended up everyone hating each other, but me and one boy. And like, we used to be very tight.
But and were you hating them as well? Like,
No,
or did
I mean,
they...
it was just so big brother and so bubbling pot and so tense.
Yes.
And like, you think like all these things, there's so many different things happening in that house. It was
Gossip.
Gossip, like back chat, all this stuff, and stuff that even comes out like a year later. That like people
Didn't
like,
clean your spoons.
Yeah, and I'm just like, just grow up. Like, just
I couldn't imagine it, man,
do your washing up and like behave. But then like third year, even more different pressures. Like get the girlfriend, and that brings different things. And but then when you're in third year, you know everyone, and everyone knows everyone else. And it's if you do one thing, then everyone knows about it, and it's just so magnified. And my mum used to call it like the Big Brother house, but like the whole city, 'cause especially this Hyde Park that I'm on about, because it is literally just like it is a bit of a slum like Hyde Park, but it's so good because of that. Like it's ran by students, and it's just so good. But like it's so intense. Like it's every night you can be drinking or whatever, and it's great. But then like, something happens, and then you can't escape from that. You can't escape from falling out with your best mate. There was one time I went absolutely mental. Like, there's these boys that I love them. I used to live with them in third year. Just me and 2 other boys. And I'd been with my girlfriend at the time, and came back the next day, and they turned everything in my room upside down.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even in jest. Like, we'd fallen out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh mate, that's a practical joke you do to your mates. You're like, oh, hey,
I know, but like,
get a picture and then I'll take it down with you.
It was
mate.
just touchy times.
Yeah,
it was so
man.
touchy times, and I just lost my stuff. Like, lost my head
I
completely.
can imagine, man. I'll just turn this back on, I think. Sorry.
And then there was actually another one. Me and my mate, we used to do cooking together, and we used to take it quite serious. We made an Instagram account. I was Meatloaf, and he was a Little Pork, and like we did like edits of like John Travolta and Greg Wallace and MasterChef and stuff.
Incredible.
And we were making lasagna, and you had to make a bechamel sauce and like a roux to make the like creamy cheese sauce, whatever, the top. And
you're getting into me now, man.
yeah.
I like my food. Yeah.
Well, we used to take it seriously. I'd give him the responsibility to make the roux, and the banter is don't split it, don't ruin it, don't mess it up, mate. Next thing, he's storming upstairs. I've split the roux, can't believe it, and he's like the embarrassment on his face, but he just knows that I love that he's done it. I go down, make a roux, but I didn't cook out the flour, and it got that technical that he could taste the flour. Next thing, we're fighting just in the kitchen. Like, that's all cancelled. Lasagna's just dead. We used to fight. Yeah, we used to fight all the time, like little things like that, and like it's just that tense. Because like, where do you go from there? Like, man. This guy's like in the room next to you. I wake up, see him on the toilet every day. Like, it's just you can't. Everything's so tense.
Wow.
So when you come out of that and like go into like complete peace and bliss at home, like just fields and stuff. You just hold a mirror up to it all and think, wow, that was crazy.
Do you think there's like a uni mentality as well, like where a consciousness grows of the uni students and it just sort of like a way of thinking? Yeah,
it's crazy because you think it's such a lucky time where you've got limited responsibility. There is this big weight on you to get the degree, to perform well. But besides that, if you can nail that down, you've got your money coming in from the government or whatever. That is so. I took that for granted so much because like this 9-to-5 job that I've got now, it interrupts. Obviously, it's necessary, but when that's not at uni, you just take that for granted, like just chilling all the time.
Do you think is it a good move, uni? Like, would you recommend it, or do you think what are the negatives and positives you've taken away from it, really?
So my initial thoughts on that were, no, I don't think I would have gone to uni for the degree. I had the best time. But then I think, I'm so glad I went to uni. I did all these things, got so much experience. I wouldn't be who I am writing how I am now anyway. So I don't regret it at all. I think it's bang on. But then I see my guinea pig friend, I call him in my head. I call him Palace because he's just he's a good lad. I met him on the first day of uni. He's called Alex, but he had a Palace t-shirt on. And then we tell that story 1,000 times in the pub. Like, why are you calling him Palace? But anyway, he stayed on to do a master's, and so he's living with friends that did a year out. So they're still in their third year of uni. But this kid's doing his master's, and I left at the same time when he should have left. So I've had this year of almost life experience where he's still in this master's uni bubble, because it is such a bubble.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and he's kind of saying, and I'm seeing him now when he's coming to the end of this bubble, the end of his masters, like how he's trying to find his feet, and I'm having to give him all this advice and like how I've found it, because I don't want him to, because it is a daunting time, because the student you put into this thing where this uni's telling you you're so important, like you're getting us these marks, and like you're gonna rule the world, like you're gonna be the next CEOs, you're gonna do all this, and then like it ends and you're not, like you wake up and you're at home again, like you back when you were 18 and you've done all these cool things, and you may have a degree, that's cool, but
and some of the craziest people with big businesses are the ones that have been like kicked out of school or had to live life really early on, like because it goes like primary school, secondary school, further education, uni, nothingness.
Yeah, and it is just
and the ones that may have gone primary school, secondary school, nothingness, work it out for yourself, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, that's where a lot of life skills and lessons truly come from, is being in the bleak, being in the unknown.
A very good mate of mine, he dropped out of, went to his I think it was like a second choice uni, York, and he was doing economics and finance. Within his second year, he dropped out. Got a mentor in forex trading like foreign exchange, all this stuff. He's minted. He's absolutely minted. He's someone else that I look up to. Like he just goes, look at this picture of this Porsche that I took a picture of on this guy's driveway 6 months ago. It's on my drive now, and he's just this guy. He's absolutely relentless. Like,
was it on the Elon Musk podcast where he was talking about this guy who was employing people, and he'd get the ones from uni, and the thirst wasn't there because he felt like they had things handed to them. Yeah. And it was so he got rid of them because they were doing this job where he was like, I can do that. Well, I'm employing you to do something I could just do in however many minutes. But then he got these kids from a place in America, like one of the hoods, basically. But they wanted it so much. They wanted the hustle. They saw all the expensive cars he drove. They saw like the nice house he was living in, and they're like, how have you got that? He's like, hard work. And they were like, I'm doing that. So like they'd be doing the social media and all the business stuff. It was because he had at the start like people that went to uni and did social media courses and things. But they'd stop for him. They'd give in the enough amount that they did, and that was it. But these people from the hood, they would put everything in. It was just, and it almost comes back to that affluenza thing. Yeah,
because when you're trained in uni as a social media person or whatever, you'll do an assignment and it's done, and that's how satisfied you can be. Like you don't need to do
get this done so we can have them fun times.
But then when the grind's there, and like again, backs against the wall, you've got to do this. If you're like from the hood or whatever, you need
I love that you've come out with that concept. I love that you come out with that idea. Maybe it does come from where you've grown up as well, like in the countryside,
maybe
isolated.
Yeah, I do a lot of thinking.
Working, thinking. That's I work for a company called Independent Thinking, and there's this guy called Ian Gilbert. He's an amazing person, and he just sends in like people like comedians into schools, poets, people with stories, people that have got something that have gone on. And, in again, education, but people think this way to this way. Like 2 and 2 is 4. Yeah. And he'll go like 2 and 2, what else could it be? Yeah. It makes people think that way. So he's got
that is good.
A book out called The Book of Thunks. And it talks about all the greats, philosophy for children. Yeah. So he says, what colour's Tuesday? Yeah. And everybody's going to have a different idea and perception in there. And it's constantly making people go outside this way thinking. And sometimes it can happen in politics. It can happen in like uni thought, like, here's what I think, here's what this person thinks, this is how you must think. And this ideologies build up over people around you rather than thinking for yourself a bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that's another great thing that I took from uni and my friends. Like this Palace guy, he's a philosophy student. Well, he already graduated as a philosophy student. He does masters in media now. But he would always come in like, what do you think of this? Like we'd often in third year, when my friends would turn my room upside down and I'd leave the house. And my dad had a go at making wine last year. Wow. And it would be like 18% like pirate bottles of wine. Like pull the cork out with your teeth kind of stuff. And I used to go around to this guy's house, play chess, see off like a few bottles of these, and you just be like, what do you reckon to this bit of line of thought? And like you challenge yourself. So I think your mind is very much like a tool, and you got to keep it sharp. Because if you are sat around talking all day about what was on this morning or what did Piers Morgan say, then it's just gonna get dull, and like you do need to like
and
keep
it quickly
that thought.
adapts to just those people around you. People want to fit in, don't they?
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So if you can, that's why I do have a bit of a political side about me, but this left and right, and it's quite Joe Rogan-y thoughts, but it really hit me when I heard it. And you know, people in them areas like want to be part of something, and there's quite a militant left now and a militant right, and it's sort of gone that way. So in them uni or even city areas, if you just start saying yes to everything people around you think, you're involved in that clique then. You're all sort of bigging each other up, and it's together. Whereas I'm both. Like I've got so many sides of me that I'm like, well, I want people to be better. I want people to have better lives. I want people to get by doing their passions. I think that's an amazing thing. But I also do have like this heart of like, the ones that are really working hard for it should be rewarded for it, and that's good too. So the socialist, capitalist, everything.
When people talk like that, they kind of, I think they talk almost in the short term. It's like you're working the hardest for it, so you deserve all of it forever. But you might be working hard for 2 years. That's fine. The other person might be working slower, but for a longer period of time.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's not an instant like you're a hard worker, you're a slacker. It's not just a straight label.
And people
like
are also, like you said, working it out. Like they will need to have. If you're going to work really hard, you got to have direction. You got to know where you're going with it. It's no point spending all energy and expenditure in doing something you're not sure on. Like my mum deserves to be living where she lives, because she like from 10 like was horse mad and then worked for people in every way, and I like that about her. But my dad just like worked for my granddad in his company. He was a footballer and just wanted to relax. When we got this place, he turned into a farmer. There's a lot behind it. Let's get into the music again for you, man.
Oh yeah,
I've
got songs out somewhere, don't I?
I can go on tangents. I heard myself doing it then. I was like, Mikey, would you want to be listening to you right now?
I do.
That's sweet to you, man. But with the music, like, tell me that side of things as well. Is that like where you really want to be going down a path?
Yeah, I mean, a nice little pinch myself moment. At the end of this year, I'm a big fan of affirmations and writing stuff down. In a very like darker period of my life, in like October time.
Sure.
We've got like a shed. It's kind of cool, like a little cinema, and it played PlayStation.
That's amazing.
It's pretty cool. Like we keep the clothes in there, and it's cool. But it used to just be me, whiskey, some cigs, and my little book, writing stuff down. And then I found this sounds very cinematic, but I used to go outside, and it's just, since there's no lights or anything, like you'll know here, the stars are just all out. And I found this like orange star. It's called Betelgeuse.
Did you get your phone out with it? And
I spent $5. I was a bit pissed at the time. But I spent like $5 on this stargazing app. I was like, oh my god. But I started like saying affirmations to that, and all this stuff started happening, and it was so good.
Wish upon a star, man.
I wish upon a star, and it just meant so much to me.
I think I like that film Pinocchio, but me and Chrissy watched it the other day. We just got Disney Plus, and it's fucking terrifying. Swear on my life, man. Like, obviously I'm a bit into Disney.
Mate, I love Disney.
These all come from affirmations.
Nice.
He saved my life, this guy. Genuinely, I was at that point, broke up with a girl, took it really badly, and he said something where I was like, oof. But really got into Disney. Then we put it on yesterday, and Pinocchio, man, have you seen it in a while?
No,
right.
No.
Genuinely, this happens. I've said this before, but I've got to go again because it shook me up. Pinocchio is all about like child trafficking.
Right.
And it's in the 70s, which scares me more because I know there's a lot going on there, and all these cases coming out now, and Epstein Island and X, Y, and Z. So it made me Walt Disney knew something was going on.
Yeah.
Because there was this point, so the Pinocchio gets away, and then suddenly like they're in the pub and they need to find him again. But there's this paedophile character, and he really is like, he looks this proper archetypal big fat bloke.
Yeah.
And can you remember the fox? There's a fox in his mate.
I don't remember it too well.
So I've got to tell you it then. And they're in the pub and having a drink, and they're like, we need to find Pinocchio. And the fox's motives are all money based. So he's like, how much would you want for him? And he's like, or how much could we sell him for? And the paedophile bloke's like, no. he's worth way much more than money. And then my heart starts going. I'm like, I go, Chrissy, like, I don't remember this. This isn't cool. And then, like, I'm like, it keeps going on. And then the fox is like, what's he worth then? And he whispers in his ear. So it's, you don't know what's going on. And the fox's eyes just, like, go in horror.
Oh
Sorry to be taking you down this path, man. But
maybe we won't be seeing the live-action remake of Pinocchio in the cinemas anytime soon.
And then the guy, like, the fox is like, what? And then he sits back in his chair and he goes, and they never come back as boys.
What?
And then they take them to Pleasure Island.
Oh right, okay.
So
well,
I've just
we'll leave
sorry
that
to take
Pinocchio
you down
dead and
there,
buried.
But it took me on a journey, and I was like, right, so Disney isn't what it all cracked out to be.
No.
I know it saved my life in many ways.
Walt Disney was quite openly fascist and
racist
and used to work his employees to the bone, like a Nazi level.
But then had the most beautiful, that's why I got into that story. Is like affirmations and wish upon a star.
Yeah.
It all come from there. But I was like, I got them all on my arm, and I was like, oh no, the horror show behind it.
I'm with you. My version of that actually is Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
I adore it. I just think
Not even seen it yet.
Oh mate, there's 3 of them. They're incredible.
You think with somebody with all these tattoos,
mate, you'll love it. There's no nonsense in it, so you'll be fine. But so obviously the Panda, Kung Fu. Like I just actually think the animation's just really, really aesthetic and nice. But the third one, he needs to find chi basically, which is like this higher level version of karate or whatever.
Like flow.
Yeah, and like you can only harness it when you understand it. It's like it's focused in all movie. Like the baddie's coming, he needs to learn chi. And then in the end, he's like, I can't teach you to be me because only like you can be you and only I can be me, but I can teach you to be you. And that was like, oh my god, like that's incredible.
Okay.
And like, and then suddenly like the panda learns it, and he teaches the tiger how to be her, and it's like then they all beat the baddie, and like it's just like this massive like badass graphic at the end of like him turning into this chi dragon. I'm like, wow.
Okay,
like,
man, that's my next. Like, I'm gonna get away from Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into Kung Fu Panda.
Honestly, it's so good. That it really stayed with me. That did.
But what is it about affirmations? Like, what is it that hits you? Because I'm the exact. I've got them wrote down, or like you see my house, like all over the wall. I love looking at them and reminding myself.
I've tried to think about this quite greatly, and like the start of it for me is that in this whole spirituality and horoscope, I don't know too much. I know quite a bit about horoscopes. I don't know how much truth is in it, but I don't. But all this kind of the spiritualness and can people connect over certain ways, and people get on more than others, and all like predestination, all this stuff. I'm very quick to argue against people that kind of just put it to the side, because I always say like 500 years ago it was fact that the Earth is flat. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that way of thinking.
And I think that like art and stuff, like they paint the doors for like science to open. So like this kind of way that we're talking now about affirmations and stuff, it puts it on the radar for when technology and science maybe can get there, they can then find out maybe it's never meant to be found out. You don't know, but all that kind of stuff I do buy into, and I don't. It is a knock-on effect. Like you're writing this down, so you have to do it. I almost see it. Like I said to you on Facebook the other day, getting into Strava and this running and everything. I ran this half marathon.
Nice work, man. Yeah. I clicked you then like a poet. Like, we click at our gigs.
That's sick. Yeah. And in my little diary, I just wrote, next Sunday, wrote the date down, you are going to run a half marathon. And it was almost like that. Like I was like 10 miles in thinking, I've written it down. There's nothing stopping me. And there's no one around, and there's like some nice woods and stuff. And it comes out into a big open field, and the wind was blowing horrible. Like you shouldn't be running on this day. And there's me just screaming like, "Come on,
you're doing it!" Yeah,
I'm just screaming
1 foot, 2 foot,
yeah,
3 foot.
Yeah.
That I remember like getting to them levels of exhaustingness. Like,
exhaustion.
Exhaustion. Maybe. Thank you. Thank God you're here. But I got to them levels, and like your mind, I just did like counting posts at one stage, like one post, and then in my head I like, how many counts can I do till I get to 2 posts? I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then I got into that mind.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
it. It's good. I think it's so good, because another thing that I kind of say is like, if you want to be extraordinary, you can't live ordinary, because you can't be doing these ordinary things of sitting in front of the TV all the time.
I love that. You'll be one of them guys that just like, again, why I love affirmations is because I'll be having these long like conversations with friends and trying to piece stuff together, jigsaw it, and be like, I think like this, and but there's been like philosophers out there that have taken them conversations for like hours trying to work it out and just gone this.
I think that a lot.
That's the good feeling.
Yeah,
it's
that's the art, I think, as well. When because I think when me and my friends talk, or even how we're talking, like you can center around some of the great things that philosophers have said. But I think, as you're saying, philosophers take all that and just say,
digest it, sort of go, what are they trying to say
in
here?
Simple words.
One yesterday, and it was a line.
Yeah.
And me and my mate was talking, and he'd had a breakup, bless him. And I've had my breakup, so we're talking about this ideas and where he wants to go and what he wants to be, and he wants to reinvent himself essentially and try new things. And it was this quote, and it just says, "You create your reality."
Yeah.
And I was just that's perfect. Like, it's perfect, create it. Like, you are saying all these things, you've got to make it, you've got to shape it. And perfect.
And I said that to, again, my friend that is a master's, and he's coming to the end. I was like, there's a little bit of a collective he's involved in that does music and fashion, but it's kind of going more of a fashion way now, but he wants to do more music. There's there's loads of different complications, but I just said to him, like, you've got to plant the seeds that you want to grow. Like, you're in charge of that. You're in charge of maintaining and looking after it. You don't need anyone else involved. You can have other people involved.
And I do find it a shame when people dismiss them. Like, they're just it's an affirmation. It's easy to say, harder when trying to do it. But, like, they really do give you a base point. Like, when Will Smith said to me one day, like, what I was saying to you in the kitchen, like, put a brick as perfectly down as you can, and then you do that every day and you'll get a wall. Yeah. I implemented that in my life. I really did. I've said that to so
many people trying to help people out.
I've thought like, Chrissy, today we're going to make the best brick we can build for the business. What does the bus need?
A podcast like this.
Yeah. Bless you. Thank you, man. We're always just thinking about that one brick. We're not doing a whole wall today.
Yeah, I've used that for my friends a lot. Yeah.
It saved me, that one, because I'm the guy, sporadic mind, thinking of all these ideas. And it's like, right, rein them in, write them down, rein them in, know where you want to be, but just take one of them today.
Yeah, I take a lot from, especially like coming from this bubble, and maybe being with my girlfriend at the time and stuff, like not valuing myself enough. I do think like I'm a good guy or whatever. But maybe not put yourself first. And I don't know who said it, but it was one of these videos. It was like, if you can't keep a promise to yourself, then what's the point? If you say you're going to do it, and that's what all the affirmations thing. Like, if I say I'm going to do it, especially if I've written it down, then it has to be done.
And that's a lovely one, that is, because like the worst thing for me, like, I hate it when people just make fake promises.
Yeah.
You know they're not going to go along with it, or that you think they are, and then they let you down last minute.
Yeah.
And it's just such a painful feeling. You're just like, man, I built all this up for us. Like, let's do it. So if you're doing that to yourself, if you get into somewhere and you're like, nah, I'm not really going to do that, it's going to tenfold more pain.
Yeah. And it came in. I mean, it was in the same like exercise, like that was the same podcast. Oh no, actually a different podcast with Joe Rogan. Can't remember who he was with. Some military guy.
Oh, Jocko?
Yeah,
man, he's a good guy. That's so. Again, Joe Rogan's great because it just gets you onto all these other people to look at their work.
He's a good lad. He's a very good lad. The best one is Guy Ritchie. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Right, I will have. I'm guessing, just because.
So good. Like, obviously he's the big director, and he talks about like your narrative and how you have to always circle back round to the point that you are in charge of your own story. You're not part. It's so easy to sell yourself to, I'm under this government, under this, in this town, and I'm affected by all these things. I'm a byproduct of all these things, but you're not. You're the center of it. These other things are like the side of it. And I always have to remind myself of that. I'm not here to help them or really help anyone. I'm here to do this.
And you can be in a society. You can condition yourself to feeling guilty for that.
Yeah.
Like when you like. We're talking about ego before. It's okay. It's cool to have that side of yourself.
It's very cool. Like,
so important.
You have to.
The best artists you see get on a stage, they take their ego on there with them. They give the best performance and the energy, and then they come off and keep it humble, keep it real, and be nice to people.
Yeah.
But genuinely get on with your thing and do the best you can do. Yeah. And then the right people come for that journey with you. 100%. They're like, okay, if you're doing the best you can do, I'm going to do the best me, and we're going to create the team out of that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that was a conversation I had to lean on my friends for at the start of this music thing. I was like, I'm quite good. I think I'm quite good at singing. Like, my friends like say I'm really good. It's great. And it's like, I put an Instagram video out, the first song I did. I was like, I'm now saying I'm an artist. Like, and if you don't believe it, no one's going to believe it. But it's, for me, just saying it out loud, not even saying it out loud, just kind of, this is who I am. go check out my music, go do all this, then I'm now it. Do you know what I mean?
Really interesting. I've got a mate who's I think he's a really cool guy, but like he's gone out to be like a motivational speaker thing or somewhere else and doing his thing. But to me, he would always try and rein me back,
Right?
Because we were in competition somehow. I don't know how we got there, but he even admitted, he's like, yeah, I felt really jealous of you, X, Y, and Z. But I go to parties. And when I just decided I'm a poet, I wanted to be a poet. I wanted to teach poetry. You should have seen my mum's reaction. She's like, "Fuck you, you're not doing that."
Yeah.
But who's a poet nowadays? But I did, and it's my job. And I go into schools.
Yeah.
But I went to parties, and I go, "Hey, I'm a poet." I was probably very drunk at the time, but I like, "Can I do your poem?" To just random people all the time. It's probably annoying, but I just told myself, and that mate would go like, "You're not, remember, you don't actually, you're just doing it as a whatever."
Right.
And I was like, I am.
And I mean, I don't know particularly your relationship with that guy, but I mean, people that I've had that my life like that, I don't even.
Yeah,
don't
I know what
even,
you say.
But,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's only come. There's one specific bloke that's kind of proved this to me recently, that longevity of a friendship does not necessarily mean like the wellness and the strength of that relationship. Like I've met a bloke this year. Who's just literally like my brother. Like he's incredible, and he's so supportive of me, and I'm so supportive of him.
Thank you for being so nice about me.
But like literally, but I've got friends that I made in first day of uni that I don't even talk to anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're just bad.
It's
they're
true,
not
man,
even bad
it's
people.
true,
They're just
and
bad for my journey, or whatever.
It's a spiritual way of thinking, but change is inevitable. Change is happening, and people are constantly changing who they are.
Yeah.
And some change at different rates, and some go that way and this way. So you've got to always be conscious of that, and always constantly thinking, is this feeding me good or bad at the minute? Is this working?
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to navigate this way. I'm sorry, or not even sorry,
You're
but
not sorry. Like,
I'm doing my thing now.
First. At the same time, though, like I think it becomes from I'm an only child, and when I make a friend, it's all about respect for me, definitely. Like if I can see that person respects me, I will do anything for you. Like you ring me now, and I will go wherever you are, and like it's done. But it took first and second year of uni for me to not to kind of clock on to when people weren't reciprocating that.
Yeah.
And then coming back to that self-respect thing. But now they're all brothers and sisters. Like, I know that I would do anything for them. I know I can bail them up at any time.
I'm glad you've got that group, man. I'm glad you've built that space.
And the thing is, like there's probably like 5 of them that are in the same group, but there's individuals that I could just go around the world with, and it wouldn't even matter. And it's just me and him, or me and her, and it's just really, really good.
That's powerful, man. Yeah, that's it hits you here.
Yeah, I feel really passionate about like those people.
I know them feelings. You just like, we're in on this, and it creates the best part of you.
Yeah,
that's the good mentors to have around.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So I'm gonna, because I've got a guest coming as well soon.
Oh, right, okay.
So I've really, really enjoyed this.
Yeah, so it's the same.
Would you travel an hour again to come back?
I'm camping outside.
I'd love you
the
here.
bus looks comfy.
It's a lovely place to be. Very warm in there, though.
Yeah.
But I do busking sessions here as well, and you heard it here.
Yeah.
I want you on here. I want you performing.
I reckon it's my first performance.
Maybe it could be, because it's a nice what me and Chrissy wanted was when the artists play, it's quite. Some stages are great. There's just talking and like excitement and energy. But as an artist, for me, like spoken word, talking doesn't work. It's just confusing. So we're like, let's get a space where NPR session style. It's calm. When it's the artist performing, it's all about the artist.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, we chat about it. We go outside, have a fag, have a drink, enjoy it. Come back on. The artist is on again. It's all about them. And a lot of friends like Joey Collins, who's played. I've also Concrete Rose are a great reggae band. You can get like 6 people on here somehow. But they've all just said like it changed my set, like because we had time in between and it was silence, and then everyone was in on it. Like they could think about what they wanted to say about their song, and they got to give it another approach. Nice, So,
well, the thing is for me, that it would be me like making that for the first time. I found this Not Stopping festival really challenging because I had to kind of like make an acoustic version of this song, and like I'm not. My dad always asks me like, or like not asks me, but not even compares me, but kind of mentions other artists and stuff. But this game is so individual. Like I've got a few numbers on Spotify. I've never done a live performance. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of give my all into it. And
somebody says to you, like if I said like you come tomorrow, we'll get like 30 odd people on a bus.
Yeah.
You're gonna be live for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
How'd that feeling?
Yeah,
like,
butterflies, but I love it.
Is it good? Yeah.
What I saw another thing someone was saying is like I always try and like go out of my comfort zone, like every day, try and find something that goes.
I felt that from you, like coming down an hour drive here, and I felt somebody. They're the people I respect. There was a girl yesterday, Marcella, and again, never met, just seen Instagram, somebody passed her on, said she's really interesting, inspiring, and she came down with like loads of beans, like literally like excited, and she's like, no, I just wanted to be involved, I try new things every day. I'm just like, so much respect for these people. It's just going out and trying it, and some things fail, some things work off.
I mean,
like,
this is so good, man. Like it's incredible. Like
it's beautiful, and another good saying we can take away. Like my friend says a lot
just
is,
get my notebook out. For
man, he's like, is the juice worth the squeeze?
Oh, nice.
And it's a beautiful one. Like for me, for a long time, when I started going into schools, I just switched this back on. Going into schools, I loved it, and I was giving assemblies to. I ended up in front of 1,000 one day at Happiness Festival, and just like on a stage with loads of people there. And I got the butterflies, but it was good. I knew I was speaking my truth. That's I loved it. After a while, though, I'd done it for about 2-3 years, and then I had a few bad gigs, or something. My energy wasn't there so much, and I was waking up like heart palpitations, sweaty, and the anxiety got maybe the better of me a bit. And I just realised, like, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze for a bit. It wasn't the feeling wasn't there.
Yeah.
So why put yourself through all that scare and fear?
Yeah, no, I'm completely with that. Like,
but then I just towards doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Then I got that feeling again. I get the nerves. It's like a new person. How we're gonna vibe. How we're gonna talk. But the juice is totally worth a squeeze, because actually when we're in conversation, when I'm learning about you, I'm hearing your stories, I'm like buzzing from it. I feel cool. So
then that's the
juice
really
and
nice.
squeeze.
That's a really nice one. But still, that's you could say that it was you kind of opted out of those performances, but I think it's so much braver and shows more courage to say to yourself, it's not right. Like, even if it's a big opportunity or it's a good gig, it's not right. I mean, I had it's like a Norwegian record label message me and I had to go meet him in London, but I haven't made anything of it because it just didn't feel 100% what I wanted to do, and like
you're gonna do well in this, man. For being so young but being so conscious. Yeah, I think you're gonna really excel in this, because I've got friends who are young, and record labels, record deals come and they'll go straight through it. Which if somebody dangled something for me, I would back in the day. But being able to like go, is this working for me? Thinking of steps and steps. Being a thinker is really going to help you.
No, I thank you, man. I'm very conscious of being conscious, if you know what I mean. Like,
I'm so glad we've met, brother. I want to give you a high five, but COVID times.
I was thinking the same.
We'll give it a little elbow and leg it. But where can people find all your stuff and your businesses?
It's all TPJI, man. TPJI on Instagram is my main channel.
TPJI.
That's the one. I'll check it out on Spotify as well. I had a nice story I was in Waitrose the other day, getting the week shopping, and I was just singing to myself in the queue. And then the cashier lady goes, "What are you singing?" I was like, "Oh, it's actually my music, actually." Ended up writing TPJI Spotify on the bill, on the receipt, and gave it to her, and she's gone check me out.
Oh, bless, man. I love stories like that. That's so nice. Beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, and then Weirdo is just Weirdo with an E at the end. That's Weirdo 1998 on Instagram, but the link's on my Instagram. But that's big. That's the next big thing that's coming in the next few months on that. Like the second drop's going to be so cool. Like, I don't know if you've got time to just like quickly.
Please do, man. No, go for it. Yeah.
So I mean, it's the big onus. Every purchase with Weirdo goes to mental health, mental mind charity. My mental health dipped quite a lot.
I need to get you back, man. Now, 'cause now you said that, we could have really jumped in that angle as well.
But I mean, and my partners did a little bit as well at a different time. But the big thing is going to be like there's going to be loads of different t-shirts, but one piece is going to be like a blue piece with like clouds on it, and it's going to be like a commemorative piece for both myself and my friend doing like a sponsored parachute jump.
Wow.
It's going to be like a big.
Actually, don't go, mate. We've got hours to talk.
Man, but then like sort it out, do like a big like vlog for it, and do like a big event, and then it's like Weirdo like launched and jumping out his plane, like it's mean all this thing, like mental health, and it's just going to be it's going to be big energy.
That and is there going to be a gig on after or anything like that?
I
as
don't
well?
know. I might just perform in the air. I don't know. Might just
Yeah, that'd be such
whack
a
out the
good
Casio.
idea.
I mean, zero gravity, man. Must work somehow.
Oh bloody hell! Honestly, any adventures you're on, man, get in touch.
Yeah,
like
definitely,
we'll come up with some
definitely.
ideas and we'll try and collaborate
Mate,
this
is
because
definitely just the start.
we've had clothing companies come and bring a few like
Samples and stuff.
samples down,
Yeah.
and had like brought wine down and had
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
When you get them drinking and buying, it really works for you. So that's a good idea. Get
Yeah,
your dad to
definitely.
do the wine thing that he was
Yeah,
doing, and
yeah.
you bring your clothes.
I'm up for it. I'm moving.
Not
in.
daft, are you, lads? Guys, thank you for being on board. I do actually wish we went on
Had
for
more
another
time.
hour
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm sorry I booked. I'm stopping doing that. I just wanted to get like a few people on a day so I could get
Yeah, no,
a
like
bit of a like backlog.
yeah, no, that's really good.
But now I've got loads.
Yeah. I mean, sport for choice. It's good.
I'm talking all the time now. But I've loved this. This
Yeah, no,
has been
honestly,
brilliant.
thank you so much.
Such
for
a
it,
cool
mate.
guy. I
Really,
think we've got a
really,
good
really-
friendship
yeah,
here. But
definitely.
let's do another and
Yeah.
let's have a good chat about mental health because
Yeah,
it's something
yeah.
I think me and you could really
Definitely.
dive
definitely.
into.
We seem very similar on it all.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I've got so many takeaways, but yours is watch Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Me and Chrissy are going to be different people after tonight. Beautiful. Guys, thank you for being here. If you're still here, hello. How you doing? Hello, Nan. But this has been the Back of the Bus sessions on the Old Farm Bus. TPJI. You know where to find him. He's an absolutely fantastic guy.
Thanks for having me, man.
I'm really looking forward to getting to know him. I hope you are too. Big love. Peace out.
Awesome.